Hi, I'm Sandra along with T the Man and S Hacker, and welcome to our election Lee Street Beat show. Well, Tuesday, November 6th was the United States midterm elections. There was a talk of a blue wave, and the Democrats may not have made a huge blue wave, but at the end of the day, they won the House. The congressional map was bad for the Democrats. However, 5 Democratic senators won in re-election in states that Trump won by more than 19 percentage points. The Democrats put in more younger, darker, and females as they captured the House. To the horror of Donald Trump, the one-party rule is over, and he is shaking in his boots. You know, last week, Tina, man, we talked about we'd have a little bit of good news. 3 of our rock stars, they haven't quite made it over the threshold, but I think we got some better news this week. What you think?
I think our news is great. We didn't get everything we wanted. We got 80%. But the important thing was we got the base, we got the foundation, we got the House. And you know, when you run the House can rule. Any legislation now that's involving any kind of money or any kind of laws is going to have to pass through the House. There's a check and balance on this president. Now, I don't know if you got a chance to see his press conference yesterday where he threw his little tantrum. First, he went out there with a lie that he couldn't believe, that because he said everything's all great, it was wonderful, and how he, you know, helped himself and Democrats were dumb and all like that. But at the end of the day, the lie that he told to himself, he know he lost. He got his ass handed to him. And I'm glad to see that happen about it. What do you think about that, Hacker?
Basically, I'm thrilled that the Democrats have the House, because the most important thing with the House is subpoena power and all these committees and all this investigation. And their first thing they're going to do is get those tax records. And again, all along, it's not been, you know, Trump's like, yeah, I'm not going to release my tax records until the audit's over. It's not about the audit. It's about the lie he's told over and over again. He is simply not a billionaire. And in addition to that, getting his tax records will show where all his money came from. And most of it came from overseas. And that's what he doesn't want to admit also.
I'm going to take a guess and say it came from either Ukraine or Russia.
I'm going to take it and concur with your guess on the Russia.
Well, I'm just going.
And again, metaphor.
Eric said that years ago.
Yeah, and again, he said he had no financial ties to Saudi Arabia, you know, when that journalist was killed. Years ago, on the campaign trail, he's bragging about all his interest in Saudi Arabia and how well they, you know, get along financially and all that good stuff. Which is it, man? Do you have financial interest in Saudi Arabia, or do you not? Again, you can't be a little bit pregnant. You're either pregnant or you're not. You either do business well with Saudi Arabia or you have no business. It's so simple. I don't understand. Again, I understand because he's lying. But which one? Choose one. That's all I ask. And again, that press conference yesterday was despicable. Trump thinks he's a king or he's a dictator like Putin. You're not, son. And again, winning the House, they're going to be from Missouri on him. They're not going to talk about it. They're going to show him that you are not king.
True. You know, we had a lot of firsts that happened in the election this past Tuesday. Connecticut elected its first Black woman. Her name is Johanna Hayes, and she was an educator, and she was also designated 2016 National Teacher of the Year. We had first Muslim women elected to Congress, Alan Omar and Rashida Tlaib. They're from Michigan's 13th Congressional District, and Omar's from Minnesota's 15th. Massachusetts had its first Black woman elected, Ayanna Presley. She was elected to Boston City Council, and she ran unopposed in Massachusetts' 7th Congressional District. Mm-hmm. And New Mexico elected a Latina governor, Michelle Grisham. She's an attorney. She beat out Republicans Stephen Pierce for the right to be the Mexican governor, and Sharice Davis and Deb Haaland, first Native American women elected to Congress. Youngest women elected to Congress, Alexandria Cortez. Michigan's first openly gay person elected to statewide, Dana Nezel. She flipped a seat held by Republicans for 16 years. We had an openly gay man, governor of Colorado, Jared Polis, and New York's first dreamer elected to public office, Catalina Cruz. She came to America at age 9, and she didn't have any papers, and she gained citizenship after getting married in 2009. She's only the third dreamer to win public office. With all of these new faces, with all of these new women being elected, Donald Trump and the Republican Party got to feel some kind of way, because when you look at the Democratic Party, they look like America. And when you look at the Republican Party, it's just a bunch of old white men.
Again, they look like Mayberry back in the black and white days.
Not Mayberry RFD.
Yeah, not with the RFD, with the BW, black and white. That's it.
You know, the one thing about RFD, they had a black man walk across the street in one of the episodes, and so then they thought
And again, a buddy of mine has like all of the Mayberries. Again, 1 out of how many hundred?
Yeah, that was RFD though. That they had really advanced.
Yeah, that's when they came to the RFD part. We're gonna require one.
So I say shout out to the Democrats, and I say shout out to everybody who came out and voted, because they really went on and tried to elect people in their districts who look like them, who represent them, especially for the women. It just seems that the Republican Party, they just don't have any women. They don't embrace any women in their party. And the Democratic Party really embraces women and embraces people of different religions and, you know, people that are gay. You know, I'm gay. I really appreciate, you know, people being open to doing that.
You know, you being gay, I'm surprised and shocked.
Me too.
I never think about you. No, and this is all seriousness. I know we all have our own sexual preferences, but me talking to you, talking to Sherry, I never see you. I mean, I realize that you are a gay woman, you know, but I've always looked at you as a woman of color, a woman of integrity, a woman that had honesty, who had goodwill, who has her heart in the right place. So I just want to put a shout out to both of you. I appreciate you. I'm so glad that you guys are involved in my life, because you make my life better. Sandra, you opened my eyes about a lot of things that maybe, you know, I'll be honest, you know, I was, you know, maybe prejudiced about, or I felt some kind of way. One of the things that, and I just want to take this few minutes, is that, you know, when you first started hearing about gay marriage, me, I'm a heterosexual man, I'm married to a woman. And then, you felt some kind of way because you said, oh, a marriage should be between a man and a woman, you know? And then my views changed, because at the end of the day, it's who you love.
Exactly.
You know, and I told you this before, Sandra. You know, they said, some people says, oh, being gayness is an abomination against the works of the Lord. I look at it like this. I think the Lord looks at us as if we're like, say, like we look at dogs. What do we care if a brown dog licks a white dog's ass? We don't. And the stuff that we do sexually, I think the Lord don't care. You're either supposed to be doing it or you're not supposed to be doing it. He didn't divide it up. I mean, you had homosexuality in the days before Jesus, the days after Jesus. This is part of the human nature and what humans do. You love who you love. I happen to love a black woman. That's who I love. You just happen to love a black woman. That's who you love.
I don't know some white ones too, but
I love
the thing it is, it's better to have love than to have hate. And that's the bottom line. You know, we're not going to always agree with anything.
I appreciate that. You know, I mean, we've been knowing each other a long time, and we all have had to, you know, kind of evolve. And I appreciate that, because I do try to be a person of integrity. And I do feel like it's that above everything else. Out of all of the things I am, one of the last things I am is gay. You know, I am an American. I am African American. I would like to think that I, you know, am a person who, you know, lives a life that is conscientious of other people, you know. I hesitate to call myself a Christian, although I do go to church, you know, but I'm maybe more of a Christian than a person who's so-called religious, but I'm certainly woke, and I try to, you know, correct myself because, you know, I think as a Christian, I think you think more about what it is that you do and how you align yourself with, you know, the creator up above. So I appreciate it, man, because we've been knowing each other a long time. And, you know, like I said, it's the last thing I am. But at the same time, I'm really proud of, you know, the people who have come out and supported these candidates and understand that their sexuality doesn't have anything to do with their format and their platform and what they're trying to do for the individual cities in which they are running in, and that they are going to try to help and keep things better, you know. So I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
I'm glad. So, you know, we got the house. I'm feeling good about it. You know, I wasn't, you know, I felt some, you know, I told you that night in the election, you was texting me, and I basically said, don't text me until they win. Because I'm like you. I'm not up for no defeat. If you're going to tell me bad news, tell me in the morning. Don't tell me night, because I won't be sleep.
Let me sleep.
You know, but in the morning, you know what? It's kind of like this, you know, this is a long, arduous process. This is the first step. And we just got to keep on taking steps to make this a better world. So, you know, Hacker, I know you was telling us about Alabama. There's somebody that you were acquainted with that won in a local election there.
Yeah, in Jefferson County, so far as law enforcement, we have an African-American male who won as Jefferson County Sheriff. And so far as the district attorney of Jefferson County, we finally have an African American who happens to be male. His name is Danny Carr, and he graduated from PD Jackson Olin High School with a couple of cousins and friends of mine. So congratulations to those men, and may you reform the justice system in at least Jefferson County to help everybody out. Because again, the Constitution guarantees us a fair justice system. Justice is supposed to be blind. That means blind of your color, blind of your orientation, and blind of your financial condition. And that's what we need, someone who's going to restore justice and not just do it at the whim. Because the last guy who was elected, he was also a Democrat, but he was convicted of perjury. So, of course, he can be the elected DA. So our Republican governor, Kay Ali, appointed somebody who could care less about the citizens of Jefferson County. And he was doing all kind of interesting things. And I'm going to leave it at interesting.
Okay. You know, we had 3 rock stars that we were all pulling for. You know, T the Man, I was really probably more devastated when Gillum didn't win. I think we all kind of felt like he had an advantage and that he would win. But it just seems like Florida came out and voted for, you know,
non-racist.
Yeah, the racists again. And, you know, right here, Stacey Abrams is still, you know, holding on to see if she can get 50% to force a runoff. But Brian Kemp has already declared that he's won. And then last but not least, you know, Beto in Texas, he fell short. But you know what? These 3 rock stars, I look for them in the future for 2020. I would vote for any of them, for president, vice president, for anything. I mean, as much as I'm pulling for Stacey, I would have loved to just seen one of them win. But I don't think that we as Democrats should feel bad about it because we won the House. And yeah, we're going to be checking down Trump all day long. And yesterday he looked beleaguered. He came out there yesterday hating on the people asking questions. Didn't want to answer questions. Had Jim Acosta's press credentials taken away from him. You know what? He was a very bitter, petty, small man. He looked like he stayed up all night, and he looked like, even though, and then he put down all the Republicans who won, who lost, that didn't embrace him. I talk about name them one by one. I mean, have you ever seen a president go out after their own people and call them out because they didn't embrace him? I mean, it's unprecedented. I get tired of saying that word, but it's so true.
Sandra, Sherry, I want to say this. Dogs who run in a pack turn on each other.
Exactly.
That's exactly what happened. He turned on them. Whoever didn't win, what's her name? Barbara Comstock, Mia Love, Listen, they're Republicans. I don't care how they fall, 1 by 1, 2 by 2. Trump helped them or Trump didn't help them, as long as they gone, because they were supporting his agenda. But because they didn't win, he's mad. Well, you know what? It's because of you, Donald Trump. You are the catalyst of the whole thing. You caused this whole problem. Why this nation is so divided. So, you know what? By them not winning and you being unhappy, that means that finally the good side won. I want to say this about Florida with Andrew Gillum. Andrew Gillum was a progressive, and by him being a progressive, the term means that they're very liberal and that they're for tax. This is Florida. Florida's still a conservative state. You have people coming from New York, Connecticut, the whole Northeast where taxes are high. And one of the reasons why we moved to Florida, myself included, is because it has no taxes and it has sunshine. You can't get that in California. Now, you can get that in Arizona, but you don't get no water to go with it. So Florida,
that dry,
best of all three worlds. So by doing that, you know, I think that probably, you know, there's racism with Andrew Gillum, of course, in Florida, but I think the part when he's a progressive and they're going to raise taxes, that was the underlying simmering thing. The people says, well, I would go, but I can't, I don't want to pay no taxes. When you don't pay no income tax, now Georgia has income tax, I think Alabama might have income tax.
Oh, yeah, they do.
You know, but when you go to Florida and you say the only thing I do is fill out that 1040 and that's it, you know, that money's all yours. Now there's sales tax, of course, you know, but it's low. I mean, I go back and forth between Florida and Chicago, and I come there and I go to Florida and I buy something, and it's $1, and they say $1.01. I said, wow, gave up a penny. I come back to Chicago, they say $1.11. I said, like, what? You cheat me out my dime? What? You know, so I understand it. But, you know, yeah, hey, our rock stars didn't win, but they rocked enough to rock the house, and that's what happened.
And I think they were able to let the Republicans know that these places are ready and to turn purple, and that as we go on in the next, you know, 2 or 3 elections, they're not going to continue to lose.
Exactly, especially in the state of Florida, because one of the amendments that Florida voted for was restoring voting rights to, you know, felons who had served out their times, finished their probation, and checked all the things that they need to become a citizens again. And again, the nature of it, again, out of what, 1.5 million, I think 500,000 of those were African Americans. So yeah, the demographics, and this is what the Republicans have always been afraid of. They are changing, and they are not changing in their favor, which caused Kemp in Georgia to pull out all the tricks that he did. And again, just because he said he won, that doesn't mean anything. Is it certified? No.
Well, he's going to certify it because he's the Secretary of State.
And again, I think that should be, you know, like, all right, we get Sessions recusing himself from the Russia investigation. How in the hell was Brian Kemp able to run for an office and using the office he currently has to make sure he tried to win?
Well, you know what? Everybody thinks that's unusual, but we did a little research, and there's been over 30 instances where that's happened. So, I mean,
and let me ask you this question about those.
Wrong in every instance.
Were the Republicans the winner in all 30 of those instances?
No,
you know what?
Because in Kansas they lost.
No, I'm saying in the state of Georgia. You know,
Yeah,
that's the thing. And again,
they're not gonna lose here. They're not gonna lose here. You know,
but they did. You know what they did lose though when we're talking about the House and when we're talking about Georgia, right? They lost the House seat just today. They announced it and they certified it, right? That a Democrat won the seat that was held by Tom Price and held for 20 years by Newt Gingrich in the state of Georgia.
Yeah, and Karen Handel lost, and that was real big because she.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Handel, I definitely.
Yeah, and because she was appointed to that position because you know Price became Secretary of whatever and then got fired.
Yeah, it was part of the flip the 6 when she beat I think his name was I forget his name, began with an O.
Oh, Costa.
She beat him.
Yeah,
and so but this time around she got put out. She got put out by a young lady who her son was tragically killed.
Right.
Yeah, and so you know what? I mean, her story is heartbreaking. I believe that she's going to be so much better for our city, and I'm glad that she won. Goodbye, Karen Handel. See you when we'll be you. Yeah.
Yeah, deuces. And
Yeah.
then another thing in the state of Kentucky, that Kim Davis, the woman who, the county clerk, who
Yes.
wouldn't certify,
Bye.
gay couples married.
Bye.
Hey, smile. I can't say the word, but smile on your way out. You and Sessions, y'all might want to hook up and have some coffee. You have free time now.
Yep. They rejected her. They after she initially did that, they reelected her, but this time when she came around and went for office, they voted her butt out. So you know what? I just said, wow, look at that. Hatred loses. How about that?
Exactly. Hate losing.
Hate loses. Amen. You know
Exactly.
what? Jeff Sessions was fired yesterday. Donald Trump's trying to deflect from all the things that's happened this week. They're going to have over 900 cities today demonstrating at 5 o'clock, and it's about saving Bob Mueller investigation. He was unhinged yesterday, and he really is on his back feet about what's really going on. But, he had John Kelly go tell Jeff Sessions he needed to submit his resignation. So we can say that he resigned, but he really was fired. When you read Jeff Sessions' letter, it says right off the bat, upon your request, I am submitting my resignation. Hell, he'll be back at home. He's coming back home, Sharon. He's coming back home.
He's coming back home. Him and Roy Moore.
Yeah, they go to the mall.
Yeah, they could go to the mall. Well, they're prohibited from certain malls, Let's say a grown man prohibited from a mall. But anyway, in addition, to Jeff Sessions coming home, right? His church, he's I think he's a Methodist. They don't want him home.
Well, they don't want him to come to that church anyway.
Again, he can come home and I guess he can watch church on TV like some of us do sometimes.
Yeah.
But, because again, it's not, if you support a man, and I'm saying, let me rephrase that. If you support a male whose only loyalty to you is if you do everything he asks you to, when he asks you to, like, hey, jump, and your response should be how high? What do you expect? He has absolutely no loyalty to Jeff Sessions, Robert Kelly, to anybody who's in his administration. If you don't serve me, you can leave.
Yep.
And that shows how petty he is. And again, that shows what a little person he is inside. I don't mean in stature, but so far as his opinion of others, it's minuscule. He thinks he thinks he's a king. You're not a king, son. And the House of Representatives, who's gonna reclaim her time, Maxine Waters, is gonna get at him.
Oh yeah, Elijah Cummings be coming.
Oh, they coming at you.
Yeah,
and
Nancy
all these
Pelosi back with the gavel.
And even yesterday, I mean, he's name calling. Isn't that what we tell children not to do?
Yeah, he's a horrible example.
And then he told April Ryan, sit down. Are you, man? She's a good one. Cause I just wasn't raised that way.
Like Jim Acosta getting her press credential snatched. Listen.
You didn't have to. This is the thing. You didn't have to call on Jim Acosta. Period.
Well, you listen. He does this.
Prerogative.
This is for his attention.
Exactly.
A lot of people think it was staged. A lot of people think it was staged.
You know what? He needs an enemy to fight. You know what? It's just like I told my grandson one time, and he gets mad at his. He was taking karate when he was younger, and he was getting mad. He said he didn't want to deal with the other karate kids. And I said, listen, Gavin, in order for you to get better, you need somebody to spar with. You need somebody to fight with in karate. You can't get better by yourself. Hitting the air is not like fighting somebody. So you know what? You need to make up, put it behind you, and go out there and be a better person. Now, thank God he took my advice. Nobody ever gave Trump that advice. Somebody should have told him, try to be a better person, Donald. Never happened. Didn't come from his mama. Didn't come from his daddy. So, but now he's going to learn from the Congress of the United States. you're gonna be better or you're gonna be gone.
Yeah.
Because we're coming. You know what? And what's her name? Trish James. That was another milestone. She's African American woman that is the first in New York Attorney General.
Yeah.
She said she's gonna take a flashlight and look at every dark corner that Trump and his organization has.
Yeah.
That means she's coming and she's gonna stomp them roaches out of you.
True.
So I advise you, Donald Trump. You know, your day has come. And you know what? You don't believe in reaping what you sow, but while you might be without run, but you cannot hide.
That's right.
You know, they're gonna get you, they're gonna get your kids, and then they're gonna get you.
They're gonna get every illegal act that occurred in the state of New York, and most of all his financial transactions, even if they originated from overseas, were deposited in banks in New York State. Good luck, man. That's all I can tell him, because again, down here they say sunshine is the best disinfectant. Oh, he's about to be disinfected.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I'm glad that she spoke out about against it. I hope when the Democrats get in power that they try to work on, you know, infrastructure. At the same time, you know, I don't want them to go too fast on what it is they need to do. I don't want the American public to think that, you know, that they're being just as divisive and hateful with Donald Trump. At the same time, there's some stuff that they got to move on real quick. So we'll work on some infrastructure, but we also going to work on you and all of this stuff.
On January 3rd, start your investigation. January 4th, start your articles of impeachment.
Exactly.
The Senate ain't gonna pass it, but you know what? You need to march his ass down and put him in front of that trial on that court.
Exactly.
That's what he needs to be done.
And everybody in the United States can tell him to sit down.
And he'll get acquitted. So don't throw all the charges at one time. Throw them new charges up. Just save them. Just keep going. Every quarter, throw a charge up on them.
It's a trip.
Now, Mitch McConnell said that didn't work for Bill Clinton, and it didn't do him no good. But I'm going to take a guess here. That was then, this is now, and I think that eventually it'll get Donald Trump.
And these are different charges. These are much more egregious charges. I mean, there's no comparison to what Bill Clinton was charged with and what Donald Trump, all of the litany of things that he's being charged with. Like I said, and they come after his kids. I would just sit up there and sit them back and let them go after his kids. Bring Don Jr., haul him in there, all them committees that he lied to, you know what, and let New York State deal with the Trump Foundation. I'm gonna tell you something. I think him and Melania be packing up before his 4 years is up.
I believe Melania will pack first.
Oh yeah, she's already packed. She just, you know, she's already halfway packed. I think she's living out of a suitcase.
I believe it.
Well, you know what? Maybe she can join the caravan.
Oh, the caravan disappeared, man. And you hear?
Oh, they renamed the caravan.
They go.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what happened to the caravan. Remember, the caravan was supposed to be here election day, but it got stopped in Mexico City. He got troops on the border for the invasion of the babies and the young mothers carrying these little kids with guns, and they're gonna stop them because they're gonna put their hand out so they can get water and food to eat, a place to bathe. Really? Listen, there is no caravan. This is Trump's made-up caravan. You know, in his mind.
Yeah, nobody wants to go into that place because, again, it's a crazy maze. Might not get out.
I got a question for everybody who's out there listening. Why is it that they have this caravan that's marching through Mexico and supposedly all these MS-13 gang members, and we haven't heard about any crime or any violence with the caravan? Other than they were on a bridge and they had a rock throwing incident with some of the local law enforcement.
Yeah.
But we haven't heard about
Donald Trump tried to twist that around and say we're gonna consider rocks as weapons. It's like, dude.
Yeah, like we're gonna consider him smart.
Right, you know, yeah.
Well,
yeah, you know, listen. Trump's a liar, you know, he don't even believe his own lie. He woke up and said that he won and knowing he lost, and the reality is sit in. So now, you know, he's thinking about, like, I'm gonna shut down Bob Mueller. You know, he's mad at Jeff Sessions because this thing is all his fault, as he put it. No, Donald Trump, the thing is all your fault. And you know what? I don't feel sorry for Jeff Sessions. I do not. You know, to me, Jeff Sessions is like a little, what do you call him? A little Keebler elf clan. I'm gonna call him a Keebler elf clan roach. That's what he is. He was walking out with tears in his eye. You know, he used to have empathy for people. I know
Yeah, but he did all the Donald
anyway.
Trump's horrible.
You know what? But I'm sorry.
He's the most effective person working for Donald Trump. All of the cases that they had for the police officers, to have be retrained and all that stuff, and he took everything that Eric Holder ever did and he erased everything. You know what?
You know what? Listen, like I said, I don't feel sorry for him. I hope he live his life in misery and shame because that's what he deserved. You know what? If he wants forgiveness, he got to get it from the Lord himself. Because I'm a Christian, I got to ask the Lord for forgiveness to forgive Judge Sessions, and I'm not asking right now. So that's what I got to say. But we only got about 4 minutes left here. For her to get on with our busy days. Does anybody else got anything to say? Because we got Thanksgiving coming up. I'll be down you guys' way in the sunny South next week. So is there anything that you want me to tell the great state of Florida?
Enjoy your racist leader.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if I'll pass that on to you, Shirley. So Sandra, what do you got to say?
Well, Tita, man, I just want everybody to, have a great coming up Thanksgiving, and everybody just to hold tight. We're going to be seeing a lot of different changes going on, but Democrats need to just hold their head up. We here in Georgia, we still trying to hold Stacey Abrams up. I'm not quite sure she'll get to 50%, but you know what? In case she doesn't, I'm not surprised because Brian Kemp took all of those votes and he shredded them long time ago. But yeah, we're gonna be just fine. We just gonna hold it tight until we meet again next week. We'll be just fine, man.
Yeah.
God bless everybody.
One more thing about Stacey, and this is happening in Wisconsin. If she wins and doesn't have support of the legislation, she's going to be ineffective, and they'll just point to that. So she'll be stalemated. That's what they did in North Carolina. That's what they're doing to the Democratic governor elect in Wisconsin, and I have no doubt they'll do that to Stacey in Georgia. But it's kind of like American Idol. Sometimes you lose to win, and that's how we got to look at it. So
well, she did say that she's willing to be bipartisan, and if she's worked with Nathan Deal, and believe me, that's a lot right there. I would like to think that she would reach across the aisle and they would reach across with her. But you know what, Georgia's not ready for it yet. But you know what, it's coming. We so close. We so close.
All right. Well, this is Tita Man, and along with S. Hacker and Sandra Tucker on Lee Street Beat. We'll see you next week. Until then, everybody stay safe, love one another, help one another. And, for those who did their civic duty and voted, we're proud of you, whichever way you might have voted. And those who didn't vote, you don't have a voice, so I don't want to hear criticism. And that's what I want to say. So until next week, this is Lee Street Beat. Bye-bye.
Peace.